On March 12, 2010, Radio SEGA began live streaming shows for the first time. 3 days prior to this, on what was then Sonic Rex, I announced that Radio Redux would be one of the shows joining the Radio SEGA lineup, making it the first show to broadcast live simultaneously on both Sega Sonic Radio and Radio SEGA, albeit in higher audio quality on Radio SEGA, something that they were pretty proud about. Not long after this would begin our 5th season, with the appropriately named The Don't Cross the Streams show. Since that time, Sonic Rex and then Last Minute Continue would continue to be partnered with Radio SEGA. When you think about it, that show would have been episode 93. This would be episode 206. So, yeah, Radio Redux has been broadcast on Radio SEGA for more than half of its lifetime, or episodic lifetime, if you will. In 2010, I was more than happy to be asked by Radio SEGA to join the lineup, and happy to support them in any way I could, even preventing Sega from shutting down the site for copyright violation back when I had a more, let's say, official capacity. In 2020, in what is, I believe, Radio Redux's 15th year, I'm equally proud and happy to contribute to the station once again as part of the 10 years live celebration. As such, over the course of the show, we're going to be taking a bit of a musical stroll through 2010 right up to the present day with Sega releases of the time, plus a brief stop initially just to replay one of the tracks I first played on Radio SEGA all those years ago. But I've been talking far too long. There's more talking still to come, naturally enough, but first some music. And the first bit of music normally is, let me see, run the titles.
Get ready.
You're listening to Radio SEGA, celebrating 10 years live.
2010.
There we go, your 2010 track there, which is from Vanquish, actually, Bogey Battle. But you didn't think we'd have some Vanquish to start things off, although technically to start things off we actually had a Rhythm and Balance, which is actually the second track that I played ever on Radio Sega, so there we go. Hello everybody and welcome back to Radio Redux. It is great to be here once again, episode 206. Yep, all those specials, they're certainly adding up. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to go through a bit of a wander, a bit of a stroll through the years throughout the decade that Radio Sega has indeed been broadcasting live shows. There's a lot still to come if you're listening to this live. There's Sega Mixer Drive coming straight after us, followed by the Sega Lounge as well. And they're going to have a 10 years live round table with KC and a number of other very special guests. Actually, because Sega Mixer Drive is literally immediately after this, this is probably getting up being like a two-parter, I'm guessing. Just because the sheer amount of tracks and stuff that would need to be actually fitted in that time. So, hey, good news, you get another Radio Redux show as well at some point down the line. And more news about that later on in the show. Anyway, I hope you are doing well. At the time of recording, and this does date it rather a lot, we're in the middle of the coronavirus. Oh, it's coming to get you. It's coming. It's knocking on your door in the middle of the night. It's doing all sorts. It's hiding in your milk crates. It's hiding round the back of your bins. It's lurking in the supermarkets. It's possibly on the bus. Has it got a ticket? I don't know. Ask the conductor. Anyway, it is in fairness a very, very serious situation, and it's resulted in cancellation of everything. Everything. All manner of events going on, being cancelled or held behind closed doors. Yes, in 2019, they were going to cancel you because of your social media. In 2020, they cancel you because of plague! Plague! There's nothing but plague here. Everybody go. There's no... Yes, everyone flee. It's all terrible. Yep, I'm seeing the... Professionally, because obviously I now work in the health service and other things, I actually am seeing the effects of it. I've spent 6 hours on Friday traipsing around a very large hospital complex trying to put up posters, government-mandated posters, on doors, entranceways, all manner of buildings and everything. And yeah, that was fun. Whatever the case, joviality aside, please do stay safe. Make sure you're washing your hands properly. Make sure you are doing everything that would make sense to keep you healthy. And if you are feeling ill, ring up your health authority. If you're in the UK, ring up NHS 111. They will let you know. That's the same for... NHS 111 in England. It's something else in Scotland. I believe it's 111 in Wales, and it is, even though the service isn't fully rolled out in Northern Ireland, it is still 111 there just for this brief period. There's lots of help online as well. Go to your local authorities, read what your governments are saying. Please take the advice. Like I say, it is kind of serious. But all the PAXs are going down from a video game point of view. E3's under threat, and hey, this could one of the big casualties of the coronavirus could be E3 itself, because it was kind of like tentative anyway. Now that everyone's dropping out of it left, right, and centre, and now you've got the situation whereby, hey, there's a chance that it might not happen. The very legitimate chance it might not happen. What will that do? Like I say, various PAXs have gone down, all manner of events within the US. It's going to be interesting come event season within Europe, how that's going to work. Who knows? Will there be a Gamescom? Will there be a Eurogamer Expo? I mean, that's kind of later on in the year, I guess, but never mind. Who knows? It could all go down. But all sports events being closed behind closed doors, like I say. They've just announced that the first Formula 1 Grand Prix of the year is going to be done behind closed doors. I mean, because we've just closed doors on the racing track, there's no spectators there. Only the people that work on the cars and presumably commentate. Otherwise, it's going to be held in silence. And cameramen. Otherwise, it's going to be otherwise it's going to be like one view shot of the sky. Oh, it's going to be a watch this space thing, I think, as to what actually is going to happen. Anyway, we had 2010 and Vanquish. We're moving on to 2011, and what game could we have for 2011 other than Sonic Generations? So, Sonic Generations, we're going to have Speed Highway Act 1, the Cash Cash remix. You know the words to this one.
2011. (2012). (2013).
There we go. So, at the beginning there, we had our track for Sonic Generations, as I mentioned, Speed Highway Act 1, Cash Cash remix. Cash Cash? Cash Cash! Rhythm Thief. Remember Rhythm Thief? Rhythm Thief, the appearance of Detective Claude or Cloud, I guess you could say. That's from 2012. I wonder if they're going to do any more Rhythm Thief stuff besides that, the Paris Caper thing, which is basically just Emperor's Treasure, but like a small bit of it spun off the mobile. Hopefully they'll go back and do that again soon. Be quite good for the Switch, actually, wouldn't it? Kind of think of it. And last but not least, there, sounding like something out of Portal 2. I've got to admit, on listening to it, Brian Min, sounding very much like Portal 2, is actually from The Cave. If you remember The Cave from 2013. Enter the Time Traveller, who, may or may not have been from Aperture Science. Anyway, moving on. We've got some things still to come. Lots of years, obviously, to go through. Next up, we're going to have a couple of tracks, obviously, from 2014 and 2015. And then I have some news for you. Some very exciting news. And it is in part due to all the work that's going on with Last Minute Continue at the minute. Because if you go to lastminutecontinue.com, you'll find that it's in maintenance mode and has been in maintenance mode for about 3 weeks or so at this point. I'm going to say 3 weeks. 3 weeks? 4? Any advance on 4? I don't know. It's out of commission. It's been out of commission for a while, and that is because I have been doing a lot of very, 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 very important work. Basically rebuilding the thing from bottom to top. And there will be some lovely new resources for people who like Radio Redux and have done down the years. There may also be some Radio Redux merchandise coming soon, because we're doing a shop. Everyone else could do a bloody shop, so I don't see why we can't. And I did have an idea for a Radio Redux t-shirt the other day, and I'm considering putting it in there. So it'll be subtle, as subtle as Radio Redux could ever be. Oh dear. Anyway, like I say, hope you're having a great fun this weekend. If you're listening to this live, if you're listening to this at a later date, of course, thank you for doing so. And if you do want to keep up with things going on, all the doings of Radio Redux from down the years, we are of course available on iTunes, but we're available on Spotify too, Stitcher, all manner of other things, as is now, again, as part of this revamp, which has seen me spend absolute eternity doing custom, apart from renumbering all the bloody shows, I got custom episode artwork, album artwork for all 205 previous shows, Radio Redux. Guest Control's been spun off into its own thing, and that's now on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher and Blueberry and anything else that you can possibly think of. That's all got custom artwork. And then Last Minute Kickout, our wrestling podcast, which you should sign up for, by the way, if you don't want to watch the videos, which are also on its own specific channel. But those have all got custom artwork, and that's all been redone. And Dragon's Den has been reworked, and that's all done. That's its own separate entity now. And the same with, I've done all the custom artwork for Titans Creature, Stories of Azeroth, which is based upon Warcraft. And then LMC Cast as well, which is our own sort of monthly discussion show about all manner of things, and possibly more on that later. Your next game is going to be from... Ooh, that's an idea. Of course, we've had the Atlas acquisition, haven't we? That brings a lot of things into play. But your next game, which is going to be 2012, is actually... and apologies in advance, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. Again, one you probably didn't see coming.
2014. 2015.
There we go, 2014 and 15 with two games I really don't think you were expecting would be a part of the celebration at all. Dengeki Bunko fighting Climax with the Cybernetic Tornado. My first choice for that, seriously, was just like, it was so J-poppy. It was like so saccharine, sugary. And OTT, it was like you could feel your teeth dropping out. It was so I ended up settling on Cybernetic Tornado, and the next one was Total War Attila for 2015, and the Burning Crescent there, 2015. Total War Attila, only right and proper that, of course, if we're talking about the last decade, the wonderful work that the team at Creative Assembly do, continuing to evolve and expand on what they do as well. An absolute linchpin of Sega's certainly PC market expansion and ideals in terms of their marketing. Of course, the other one being Sports Interactive, makers of Football Manager. Football Manager not a part of this particular show. You may or may not be pleased to know. Next up, we're going to be going through 2016 and 2017. Now, 2017 is going to be Sonic Forces because, as I mentioned on the previous show, I love the Sonic Forces soundtrack. Even between the last show and this show, I am listening to that so much. Is Moonlit Battlefield from Sonic Forces is going to be your 2017 track. But before that, we've got Puyo Puyo Chronicle, 3DS game from 2016. The background music for Tokoton, and that's going to be your next two tracks. After which, I've got a little bit of an introduction for you for... it's ironically slightly themed 2018 and 19. This was not, in any way something that was planned. But sort of between now and then, like I say, we're discussing the big news on what's going on. Again, if you are listening live, please do stay on Radio Sega for... Well, we stay on Radio Sega anyway, to be honest. You know, it's pretty good. We have for a decade. Old school. I look forward to seeing the Discord, incidentally, because there's one guy, every single time we've come back, there's been one guy, every single time, who's been like, I don't know who he is, I don't know who they are, who are they, I don't know, whatever, don't care. I'm curious to see if they will have the same reaction to this show as they have apparently had for every single Winterfest. It's like, yeah, you don't know who I am. That's okay. I have no idea who you are either. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. Also, just while that was going on, sorted out your 2020 track. Yes, we've actually got something for 2020. And, bloody hell, it's a good one. I'm going to have to get the rest of this soundtrack now. Isn't that kind of frustrating? You know, he's like, you're just looking for a piece of music. Oh, yeah, that'll do. And you listen to it and you go, that's really good. Damn, I kind of need to listen to the rest of this now, because if it's at that kind of level, that's great. Still got the news to come, but like I say, next up, we've got Puyo Puyo Chronicle.
2016. 2017.
See the ground. Will there ever be an end? Forever running from this lunacy. Moonlight coming down, beaming through the clouds. Will I never see the end? Forever searching for my destiny. Shadows on the ground. Will there ever be an end? Forever running from this lunacy. Moonlight coming down, beaming through the clouds. Will I never see the end? Forever searching for my destiny.
Moonlit Battlefield for Aqua Road there. Nana Hattori from Sonic Forces. Vocal tracks on the Edge album. Absolute must-have for people who appreciate the modern Sonic music. Moving along, of course, we are rapidly coming to the end of the show. And we've got two more pieces of music coming up for you, 2018 and 19. Now, these have an inadvertent theme, as I mentioned before the last music break, and those are professional qualifications. Because 2018 is from 2 Point Hospital, and 2019 is from Team Sonic Racing. Games which you wouldn't necessarily say have the similarity, but they have at least on the Doctor front, because 2018's 2 Point Hospital track is Water Wednesdays, not to be confused with Free Stuff Fridays, I would gather. And Team Sonic Racing's one is Doctor's Mine. I'm really not familiar with Team Sonic Racing. Doctor's Mine is the lap music. So, yeah, you got sort of weird Doctor's connection going on here. But 2 Point Hospital and our last Sonic-related track of the day, Doctor's Mine lap music. Those are your next two tracks coming up, after which I've got something to tell you, and it's kind of something important.
2018. 2019.
Ah, you can hear that Jun Senoi influence in there, can't you? Team Sonic Racing, Doctor's Mind lap music, preceded by 2 Point Hospital, Water Wednesdays. It's quite a nice little soundtrack, 2 Point Hospital. I know it's obviously just sort of generic-ish background music, but sometimes you quite like that. You know, little plinky plonky keyboard and xylophone or whatever is in the background. Sometimes that's all that's needed. Doesn't have to be big and bombastic, you know, orchestral or rock band. Sometimes just a piece of nice background music is all that's required, and can make what you're seeing on screen just that much, a little bit much better. Okay. So anyway, I've been stringing you on for about an hour now about what the news is, and I figured it's probably about time, because we're obviously rapidly approaching the end of the show, as I mentioned, that I tell you the news. And the news is that this will be the 6th special that we've done for Radio Sega, and we've done all those stuff for Winterfest and what have you. We've done this one for 10 years live, and it's been nice getting back into the swing of things with Radio Redux. It really has been. Just chilling out, actually writing up playlists, which is never something I've actually done before. Honestly, prior to the the special and stuff, not actually writing up a playlist and putting together one that way. Normally I just sort of do it randomly. But no, it's nice to just get a pad and pen and put together stuff and go, oh, just listen to the iPod and go, oh, that'd be a nice one. That'd be a nice one for the special. Jotting it down, future date. Oh, that'd be good. Fit in here, there, and everywhere. As nice as it's been, I'm afraid this is going to be the last one of those specials. Yep. It's time to, move things along. You can't just be stuck doing specials forever. Times change, and I think the show has moved with those times. But, you can't just drag this thing out once a year, or twice a year if you're very lucky, as have been in 2019, to just, show off, oh, this is what was. You can't do that. Got to move on. Got to evolve and advance and stuff. Okay. And obviously, we've not had a live show, and this isn't live either, this is recorded. Which I know is kind of ironic considering it's 10 years live, but bear with me, alright? But it's gone down very well. It has done previously, and it's fun to do a live show every so often if you can. And it's kind of a shame that the special stuff's ending. So it's just as well Radio Redux is coming back to Radio Sega, isn't it? I'm pleased to announce that following some discussions with Radio Sega management that has been taking place for about 2 months, I would say, you can expect every 2 weeks from soon, not immediately, but soon, every 2 weeks at its usual time, 7 p.m. on a Sunday, you'll be able to enjoy a brand new episode of Radio Redux with me, potentially with some of the other guys, I don't know, as part of a brand new LMC programming block on Radio Sega. Yeah, Last Minute Continue is going to be providing 2 episodes a month of Radio Sega. But what's going to happen in those other 2 weeks? Funny you should ask. Not only is Radio Redux coming back, but we're also bringing LMC Cast to Radio Sega as well. So you've got that to enjoy with the gang, just sitting down and discussing everything that's going on in their lives. What their latest film they've been seeing in the cinema, what games they've been playing, what music they've been listening to. It's a fantastic little chill discussion show, and you can enjoy that every other Sunday. Well, at least one Sunday a month, let's put it that way. And any other gaps, well, we're going to fill those with some archive content from, the other 205. If you really want to replay this, I guess you could. 205 episodes of Radio Redux, and that's going to sort of fill in the other gap when we're not around. So 7 p.m. on a Sunday, as is tradition, Radio Redux is coming back. Some might be live, some will be recorded. As folks know, I am a very, very busy man nowadays in terms of everything. It's not like I wasn't ever busy before, but we'll see what happens. But I will tell you, mentioning that notebook, it's very difficult to flick the pages, but trust me. There you go. I've been busy in this notebook. I really have. I've got some very interesting themed shows at some point in time. Stuff has been very deliberately crafted, let's say, with a Radio Sega audience in mind. Plus, as again I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I think this is Radio Redux's 15th year. We started in 2006, so hey, I mean, technically the first one was recorded in 2005, but don't ignore that. But there is that to do. Lots of things to discuss. Some very interesting shows potentially we could have in discussing a number of things, Sega past and present. But of course, it's Radio Redux, so don't get too comfy with just being Sega music. And also, actually, part of that is I may or may not at some point in the future be doing another radio show, a proper radio show, a proper hospital radio show, all about video game music, and that may end up filling one of the slots every so often as well on Radio Sega. So that'll be a very different feel, very different sound. And yeah, you can look forward to that in the near future from myself and the folks at Last Minute Continue. Anyway, enough of that. 2020. Yes, we are going to have a 2020 game. It's going to be Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, and it's going to be the Kamurocho Encounter theme, which is gone all dubstep, ladies and gents. It's gone all dubstep. Regardless, I really do hope you enjoy this. Thank you very, very much for listening to this episode of Radio Redux, and for the first time in a long time, I get to say, see you soon. Bye, everybody.
2020.